Metro bus drivers are embarking on a strike after salary negotiations deadlocked last week. Let us now talk to our colleague Maageketla Mohlabe. Maageketla, you've been covering the story the whole morning. You've been to different parts of Johannesburg just to look at the scale and the impact. What's the latest?
Yeah, a very good morning to you, Desiree. We are coming to you live from Melpark Depot. Just overall, in all three depots of Metrobus, over 400 buses parked today. And this simply because of that particular strike you've just mentioned in the intro. We understand that negotiations have hit the deadlock, and on the ground, on different bus terminals, the impact is felt by the commuters. We spoke to some earlier on at Roodepoort bus terminal just next to Westgate Mall. They actually expressed their frustration, saying that it is only the 10th day of May today. They spent their last money to buy those tickets, those monthly tickets. Others saying that they had been there since 6 a.m. We spoke to them around 8 a.m. and they saying that they are now just waiting for their bosses to come and collect them to go to work. They don't have any money to take the taxis that we saw just next to that bus terminal on Degas Road. And in fact, that is where you'd normally see a lot of taxis lining up. This morning, we didn't see any lot of them. This simply means that many people that are supposed to be on those buses now, they are now rushing to those taxis, which is why they got full quite quick. But let's just bring in one of the important people here at Metrobus. He's the spokesperson, Mr. Goodwill Shivuri. Talk to us about this. I mean, negotiations have been there, I understand, since early this morning. Since early this month. Talk to us, what is the issue now that we see all these buses, over 400 of them parked, they are not on the road?
Good morning to the viewers of SABC and Desiree. Yes, indeed, the strike has entered the second week. Over 20,000 commuters have been inconvenienced. I do want to mention key issues that have led to where we are today. It is out of greed, it is out of unruly element that people who are willing to work, 98.6% of the staff are on duty and they're ready to work. We have an unruly element where our drivers are threatened. So you've got the thousands that you're talking about who are complaining and frustrated. Metrobus offers a very attractive service to the commuters. So in this case, you've got 1.4% of the people on strike holding the entire city at ransom. How possible that is? You have a well-trained drivers, disciplined drivers on duty, but the fact that we cannot guarantee their safety, we also cannot guarantee the safety of the passengers. Unfortunately, the employer had to withdraw services. We've got a very fresh past history where drivers have been victimized in buses, they've been banned, some shot, killed. So on the basis of that, the employer is not willing to take a risk and put people in buses and also risk these assets.
This is an important labor issue. But how is it possible that when you have 98.6% of employees who are willing to then work, they are being told to then stay at home, and then the 1.4 that you're talking about is saying that there won't be any economic activity downtown Johannesburg or around the city of Johannesburg? Does that not talk to the failure of the management to come to the table and address these negotiations?
Unfortunately, Metrobus is a subsidiary of the city of Johannesburg. It's a company that's wholly owned by the city of Johannesburg. The shareholder does not recognize the Mausa as a union. So the structural issues that we're dealing with as a company, apart from those, you look at the issues that they're demanding. You cannot wake up and reinstate over 20 people that have been fired at work simply because it's one of the demand. Number two, you can easily put back buses on the road and drivers that are willing to work, but you don't know where these threats are coming from. You've got a number of people that have been dismissed with an interest because one of the demand benefits them. So you may take that risk, and then, we don't want to lose a single life because of a strike. So our issues is that we just activated our contingency plan now. We're looking at various ways to resume the service, and I'm hoping that we should find a solution sooner than later.
SABC, as well as this particular union representing the 1.4% of workers who are on strike, saying that this talks to your arrogance as Metrobus by not showing any willingness to come to the table. This is not the first time we are here, Mr. Shivuri. What do you have to say to that?
We have been here before, and if you look at most of the demands are not new. It's the same things that have been rehashed over and over again. And it is unfortunate that we would love to sit and negotiate with the Mausa. These are issues that we've been dealing with as indicated, but unfortunately the Mausa at one stage was deregistered as a union. We were unable to engage with them on these issues because Department of Labour didn't recognize them as a union. Number two, SABC and the Mausa today, they are saying that we are arrogant, we don't want to engage them. We have engaged the Mausa on Monday, first day of the strike, on a simple agreement of picketing rules. We support the strike. It's their democratic a right to go on strike, but they do not have the right to intimidate the working people who wants to come to work. So, if you fail to uphold a basic rule of, picketing rules, do you honestly think that the Mausa is somebody that you want to? It's hooligans, and I'm going to call them hooligans because they holding thousands of people hostage. It's unnecessary to park these buses. These buses are supposed to be on the road. It is very painful. This is a very painful sight to look at buses that are supposed to serve the citizens of Johannesburg parked today. If you specifically look at what the Mausa is looking at today with the support of SABC, what they have mentioned there has nothing to do with the demands that they have placed on the table. So you can see that there is no synergy between the demands that have been placed on the table and the issues that they are actually dealing with today. And that is raising a problem. It's also confusing for management here.
It's a lot of demands there, 28 of them, and just among them, 18% increase across all the board. They also want 15,000 COVID-19 allowance between level 5 and level 2, and that's for those who worked, and those who didn't work, 8,000 rand. Are you willing for a compromise, or even looking at those 28 demands? Where can you meet them halfway there?
Let me just clear one thing as far as those demands are concerned. You and I are aware that issues of substantive conditions of employment are negotiated at the South African Local Bargaining Council. There is a process underway as I speak to you that is addressing finances, salaries, bonuses, 14th check that they're talking about. Unfortunately, the Mausa is not party to the bargaining council, and that's not our responsibility as an employer to make them party to that. But that's where salaries for all local government employees are negotiated. So, with due respect to the Mausa and their demands, I personally feel that they punching above their weight as much as they want to sit and negotiate all of these things. But they only represent 1.4 of the workforce, which is a minority. And but the impact of that minority you can see out of threats that buses are parked. We are not able to serve the community. We have the mandate as Metrobus, and one thing that we know and know best is to move people from point 1 to point B. So now we are being inconvenienced as a result, conveniencing thousands and thousands of passengers on a daily basis.
So you have told all the employees to stay at home for the sake of their safety, including those of that of the commuters. No pay, no work, no pay principle, does it apply here?
No work, no pay principle applies to people on strike. You see, there are employees on duty. The 98.6% that I'm speaking about, they are on duty. they are willing to get in the buses and start driving. Hence, the management, as I speak to you, they're trying to explore other avenues to ensure that we end this impasse as soon as possible. So if we end this morning, you've got a workforce that is ready to hop into buses this afternoon to address the afternoon peak. So there is no one that is staying at home on instruction of management. Those that are at home, we consider them to be on strike or in support of the strike. 98.6% of the employees are here. They are ready to work. I am on duty as I speak to you. So we are exploring other avenues, and I'm hoping that we should be able to end this.
Yeah, and just finally, for the sake of the commuters who might be watching this, they spent their last cent to buy that monthly ticket. They don't have any money left for taxis. Is there any refund in this ticket system?
Let me just first implore our commuters. I mean, they've exercised patience. This is the second week of the strike. And I understand we don't take cash at Metrobus anymore. So we encourage passengers to buy tags and load their tags. They are preloaded, so they have used their budget for May. I understand it's a very costly exercise, but I just want to encourage them to exercise a little bit of patience and continue to make alternative arrangement transport for themselves. We are working tirelessly to ensure that at least we end this strike and that they will not lose any of their money. What is on their tag will be extended, and those that have tags that are expiring during this time will be able to credit the trips that they have, because we've got a system that is able to see what has been lost and when was it lost. But our tags are valid for more than 2 months, so we should be able to use, or those tags will be usable beyond this period of strike.
All right. Thanks so much for your time there, Goodwill Shivuri. He's the spokesperson for Metrobus here at Mel Park Depot, where many of those buses have been parked amid this particular strike. And we expect those employees or Demawusa employees or members to picket just not far from where we are. That's at Gandhi Square. We will be there shortly to actually monitor the situation there, Desiree. But I can tell you that the frustration is building among the commuters themselves, saying that they do not have any money left to actually take taxis. But for now, let's just take a short break. We'll bring you more news shortly after this.